addition Mark Vientos has given the Mets in 2024.
Well, he's strong. He's got power. Lots of it.
It feels like Mark Vientos has taken that next step.
Man, can he hit the ball hard.
There it goes. Home run, Mark Vientos.
Oh, boy. A titanic shot to center field.
It's an absolute laser to right center.
And he smacks it to deep left. That's out of here. And the Mets win the ball game.
Improvement at the root of every journey, right? Whether personal or professional. And look at this for Mark Vientos, taking a road that's anything but paved. Came up in May, and since then, he is a new guy. We spoke to him in London. And what stood out to me, DeRo and CY, is that he said, because DeRo, you went back and forth from the major leagues to the minor leagues. He said, it's so humbling to get sent down, and it happens so often. I just wanted to stay, and he is staying in the major leagues. That is for darn sure. He's been great.
You got to give him some love, right? Sometimes you need new eyeballs on you. Last year, he was a guy that had light tower power in the minors, up and down. This year goes into spring training, has to try and beat out Brett Beatty, who was their #1 pick. You know how that goes. They're going to give Beatty the shot first. And then finally, he didn't kind of hang his head. He comes up in May. And over the weekend, myself and Eric Nays are starting to have some weird ESP type stuff. Because I'm sitting there watching him hit this walk-off tank. And I texted Nays, and I was like, we might have to do. And he goes, check your email.
You already had it done.
I was already in there. The manifesto had been sent. And I didn't realize, not only is Mark Vientos absolutely hitting bombs for the New York Mets, his numbers, like, across the National League are high up there. So I want to dive in and give this guy some run.
Let's do it.
Come on, 2017, get us started. Second-round pick out of American Heritage High School in Plantation, Florida. He was high school teammates with Tristan Casas.
That's right.
Eric Hosmer went there as well. So this is a baseball powerhouse. Pause this. Check out his weighted run created plus leaders this season at third base. He's #1.
Bro, see, this is why I love this show, DeRo. Nobody
He's
at home.
#1.
Nobody at home, when you're saying who are the top third basemen in the game, other than Mets fans, nobody else is.
We're going to keep going here.
Right here.
Hot change at Devin. NL slugging percentage leaders this season.
Yeah.
He's 4th. Come on, and Jock Peterson, hats off to you. You see, continue to do it. But you got Shohei, who's got everybody beat. Marcell Ozuna, who was flirting with a triple crown. Marte is one of the best players no one talks about. And then you got Vientos, and he's been consistent.
Yeah, you're saying 3 guys who are going to get MVP votes this year.
Yeah.
And you have Vientos right there with these guys.
I want to show you how he's done it from month to month. This isn't a peak valley situation. This is a guy who stayed hot. Big time power up the middle the other way. In April, I want to take you through this at bat against Liberatore. Liberatore, pause this real quick. Liberatore's a big, tall lefty, big time fastball, hot breaking ball down and in. So at times, I want people at home to understand it's not only at bat to at bat adjustments, but it's in AB adjustments. And you'll see Mark Vientos wanting to pull everything and getting out and around these breaking balls in this heater. And then eventually, as the at bat progresses, he's like, timeout. I got to create lag, stay behind the baseball, and drive it up the middle the other way. Or I'm going to roll over to third. Just lock in on this, CY. You see that kind of rollover?
He's cheating right there.
Good take right there in April. I'm going to roll over again, and you see him kind of talking to himself again, but he started to make the adjustment with the front shoulder, and boom.
When you when you make those swings mid at bat, you almost need to step out and say, what am I doing? What am I doing right now? He have one of the best gifts in baseball, which is the ability to drive the ball to center field, to drive the ball the other way. It's not too many guys who can do it like Mark Vientos. So when you know you have that in the bag, you have to be able to back it up a little bit.
Run this back. We've both played in Wrigley a million times.
Oh.
Watch where this ball lands. Just soak this in June. Sunday Night Baseball. What? That's like Carlos Zambrano taking BP land. That's right. Carlos Zambrano took the biggest BP you've ever seen, and he was a pitcher. July, keep it going. Mitchell Parker. And if you notice something, Chipper used to talk about this. Chipper Jones used to say, where did your home runs go in Little League if you hit them? Were they pull? Were they up the middle the other way? That seems to be his stock swing. He's got big-time power up the middle the other way, and then the other night, as I'm drifting off to sleep, he has the multi-homer game, and this is like a big-time coming-out party. I know the Mets fans have been on this guy, but for him to give the bat flip, and then he does the post-game, no shirt, eye black, rope chain.
Love it.
Dialed in.
Dialed in. And hey, this is when you know you're having fun, and this is when you know you're playing for a bigger cause right here. When your teammates are ripping your jersey off, and you feel comfortable out here in the shirt.
Good. Okay, I remember Polar Bear doing this his rookie year. Yeah. Bring up by month for me, Devin. Because he's been consistent. Weighted runs created plus by month this season, Mark Vientos. April, May, 171, 146, 145, 140. 100's your average ball player in the big leagues. Wow.
Stepping up
He's
all
been
year
anything
long.
but.
Yeah. And this, in my opinion, DeRo, is the difference, because some people will pull up 2023 and some of the struggles that he's had. But when he had his opportunity in 2023, you're dealing with, man, is Brett Beatty right here as well. Yep. The team was losing already by the time he really got a fair shot in the big leagues. And when you're in that type of environment, you're not in a winning environment.
No, you're in a results-based environment.
Exactly.
You're looking for cheap knocks.
You find you go out there and you're thinking of the individual goal. This year, the Mets are in a very different place, and this proves that some players, DeRo, just have to be in that environment to where winning is all that matters, and not really focusing so much on himself. And I feel like he's getting a lot of great results from that.
Let's see if he's done anything different since his first call-up. Front angles. So take it back to the beginning real quick of this. Put his foot down. Yeah, leave it right there. I mean, the first thing you notice is he was laying the bat on his shoulder back in 2022. I've never been a fan of that. I think you lose your top hand doing that, but a lot of guys have had success with that.
I would get rappy.
I would get very
rotational.
rotational. Run this. Slow. Pause. And this is timed up pretty correctly. So he's starting way earlier here to get ready with a much higher leg kick. His hands are wrapped, his bat head's wrapped around his bat. He's got a long way to go to get to the point of contact. He's kind of cleaned everything up. He's a big dude. It's not going to take much for him to generate big-time power. Run it. So he's just quiet. We're seeing it a lot. A lot of guys quieting a lot of things down because of the explosive stuff. Here's a side angle.
Yeah, when you see this,
might be a little wider.
And you see this with multiple guys who have power. When you have the power to be able to leave the field anyway, the goal when you're in the box is to be able to have as little movement as possible and still generate the same. Everybody has to have a different amount of movement. Altuve is going to have to move a lot to generate pop because he's a smaller player. If you're a big, strong kid, if you can minimize the movement, if you can minimize that leg kick and still be in control and be able to hone that power in, that side on the right is definitely the way to go.
And I just love that he's got his top hand involved here. He knows where his bat head is. I feel like he loses it here, and it's going to get more rotational instead of more big part of the field gap to gap. So run this.
He was still athletic on the left
I know.
side.
He looks good in both spots. I mean, obviously off speed, he gets a little bit out front. I love his hack, but he just seems to have cleaned everything up. And you're able to clean it up when you're getting consistent ABs. When you're driving to the yard every day thinking, I got to get 2 hits to stay in this lineup, you fail. But if you come to the yard and say, I'm going to trust my process, I'm going to get my 4 at-bats, I'm going to build off each one, you have a chance to have massive success. So bring up the next board, pause this, because it's all about the fastball. Average and slug leaders versus heater. Look at the average on the heater. You got Judge, Ozuna, Witt, Vientos. Wow. Judge, Soto, Vientos, Jock Peterson. And this guy's having a monster season. Jeez. We got another board right there on the elevated
clips,
heater.
he's hitting fastballs above the zone. Well above the zone.
Slug leaders versus the elevated heater this season. Wow. Judge, Soto, by the way, Peterson's, he's going to be Charlie Morton of the position players. Yeah. Jock, you want to retire? Nah, he's 15 mil. Come back and hit bombs for us. And Vientos is 4th there with Naylor and Byron Buxton. So he's got the ability to handle elevated heater. He's also got the ability to use all parts of the field. And that's what I mean, I'm a huge fan. You show me a really good hitter, I'll show you a guy who can drive the ball out to right field. There's one coming up here where he is so square. Look at that. Run that back for me. He's not thinking up, going the other way with that pitch. He is squared up. He lets it travel, and he knows he's got it. Dead right field.
That's 98 miles an hour.
That's hard to do.
That's 98 miles an hour, middle end down, and you're able to throw that out the right field.
Man. Slugging percentage by direction this season. Pull 953 straight. He's doing it all. We got a heat map, spray chart. Yes. There we go.
Look at that.
Hey, Mets.
You got something.
DeRo, is CY aware what's happening with the Mets this year? Did he hear?
You didn't know the Mets are winning at all?
He said that the other day.
When did you decide that?
I threw it out there 2 months ago because the Mets fans were all over me.